Hi, my name's Daniel from scooter.guide, obviously the best independent scooter review site on the internet. And today we have the Kugoo Kirin M4 Pro. So this is at the budget end of the scooter range, and it's at the lower end of the power range. So, you know, we review all different types of scooters from 250 watts up to 12 kilowatts plus. So at 500 watts, this puts it in the lower power output, and it's a single rear 500 watt single rear drive motor. And these retail in the UK generally for around 550 to 600 pounds, which I'd imagine is around $700-800 US. And I have to say, it's a very impressive scooter for the money. You do get an incredible amount of scooter for the money, in fact. One of the things that really stood out with the Kugoo was the fact that it came with a 16 amp hour battery, which, sub £1,000 is absolutely incredible. So this is a fully loaded scooter. It has a lot of features and functionality on it. It's full suspension, so it has rear and front suspension. It has indicators, front and rear lights. It has a horn. It has front and rear disc brakes that are cable operated. It has a height adjustable stem. It has pretty much everything that you'd want from a scooter in this price range. So in terms of the actual scooter itself, how they've managed to fit a 16 amp hour battery, full suspension, front and rear discs, lights, indicators, basically everything into something this cheap, is beyond me, and it's very impressive that they've done it. I was expecting, obviously, the quality to have suffered in some areas, but in general, it is a very, very robust, solid scooter. So a couple of key points to note. The folding mechanism on the M4 Pro is at the bottom. So the benefit to doing it this way actually means that the upper part of the scooter is rigid. There's no play because obviously we're not folding it here, we're folding it down here. So you don't get any stem play. It literally, there's no lateral forward or backwards movement on the stem, which is really good. It is height adjustable. There are some complaints that the height adjustable, being height adjustable means that it uses a clamp, and if you don't clamp it strong enough, it means that you can get some play between the actual top part of the stem and the lower part. The suspension is surprisingly good. Again, I was sort of expecting it to look good, but not to maybe have the functionality. But in reality, it's very good. The rear suspension is very soft. The front suspension is also very soft. Very capable off-road. The model that I received come with sort of hybrid tyres, so you can use them on and off-road without any problem. And I tested this off-road. It was very capable, very able to deal with dirt, bumps, uneven grounds and surfaces and everything. So that's very good. Again, the whole thing feels very robust, very solid. I was riding it, it didn't feel flimsy, nothing, felt cheap about it, which was very good. The range. So amazingly, I was able to get more than 20 miles on a single charge. I weigh just under 11 stone, and I was able to get over 20 miles on a single charge, mode free, constantly flat out on the throttle. So I didn't ease off, and it tackled inclines of 20% plus, again without too much trouble. I think anything above 20%, 30%, it will slow down quite a lot, but it will generally tackle most hills without a problem. Some of the other features that are really nice, they use the anodized red metal on various parts of the scooter, and that contrasts very well with the black. So visually, it's a very nice looking scooter. Weight-wise, it's definitely a portable scooter. Definitely something that you could use as a last mile commute. Obviously, you can fold this down. You've got a very nice carry handle here, which is good. It does come with a seat, so if you want to fit the seat, you have to take the carry handle off. The seat bolts onto the frame. And again, very good, in terms of portability. If you put the seat on, obviously less portable because you can't fold the stem down. The lighting is very good. Rear light is very bright. Whenever you brake, the rear light obviously illuminates, but these side panels, which are indicators, also flash. The front headlight on this is one of the best that I've seen on most electric scooters. Even though the light is very low down, just above the front mudguard, the projection of the beam is very far. So even when it got dark, I was able to use this without any problem. So in terms of spec, other than the fact that it's 500 watt rear wheel drive motor and 16 amp hours, top speed will typically range between 25 and 28 miles per hour. It did 25 comfortably. Anything above that was a bit of a push. On a downward gradient, you could get as much as 30 miles per hour. The front and rear disc brakes are cable driven, but they are very good, very sharp. So it had no problems slowing down. And obviously we have 10-inch pneumatic tyres. I see that some people do complain that they get punctured quite easily and that they go down. So always worth putting some slime or something in the tyres to prevent that happening. In terms of overall functionality of the scooter, you have the standard control panel LCD display that you find on most Chinese or Korean electric scooters, where you have the speedometer and the voltmeter. It does come with a standalone voltmeter as well, so you can see obviously when the battery is starting to get low. The deck is the perfect width, so it's not too thin, not too big that it would be difficult to store or to carry. And what's really nice with the M4 Pro as well is that they've used a rubber deck. It's very nice to see on a scooter at this price point. Usually a lot of scooters will just use standard sandpaper style grip tape. So the fact that it's got the rubber deck, which is very good, it helps to prevent you scratching up the sides of the scooter when you're standing on it if you get any grit in your shoes. And it's surprisingly good and grippy, even if it does get damp. As far as I'm aware, there is no IP rating on the scooter, although it does look like you could probably get away with the equivalent of an IP54 rating, where you could probably use it in a bit of damp without too much problem. They've covered the inlet motor feed cable with a rubber plug, so that will stop water getting into there. So overall, a scooter of this budget, I don't know how they've managed to do it. Absolutely fantastic value for money. The only complaints that I've seen, or that I sort of experienced a little bit myself, was on the handlebars. You've got two anodized screws, so obviously you can fold the handlebars down as well, which is nice. The screw caps, even if you do them up tight, they can work themselves loose. So an easy workaround for that is just to spray some hairspray on the thread, do them up. Generally that's enough. And again, we go back to the mechanism here. Again, some people do say that the mechanism isn't great. You've got to get a really tight lock on the clamp in order for you to be able to stop there being any rotational movement between the actual stem at the handlebar level and lower down. So overall, very capable scooter. Quality, is very good for the money. So far I've done more than 30 miles on it from new. Obviously I know that's not a lot, but the way that it handled, I was very impressed with it. I was very impressed just with how robust it is. Generally, with cheaper scooters, you'll find low quality components, or you'll find things that feel flimsy. On this, absolutely solid all the way around. The only thing that sort of did look like it was a bit on the lower side in terms of quality were the old Chinese chromium bolts that you get at the top of the front suspension bar. These are the kind of bolts that are reminiscent of the days of the Chinese mini motos, where you can tell that they're not proper chrome and that they're likely to rust. And to be honest, the spring setup doesn't fill me with a massive amount of confidence. You've only got a narrow bar through there with the spring. But I mean, to be honest, as long as you're not abusing it or doing anything you know, doing big jumps on it or, you know, neglecting it, I don't think you'll ever have a problem with it. But I probably wouldn't let any of that corrode or succumb to any rust or anything like that. So overall, would I buy a Kugoo Kirin M4 Pro? Definitely would buy one. Again, you know, if you are a commuter or you're someone looking to do, you know, trips around the lake, or you're looking to use something for recreational use, this is absolutely well worth the money. And again, you know, you get a lot for your money. The only last thing I would say is probably one thing, is that it does come with flashing LED lights underneath. Now, I haven't actually seen whether or not you can turn them off. Personally, for someone like me, I don't like flashing multicolour LEDs. Maybe the younger generation might. But as with anything, if you're using these on the road, it's always good to be visible. It's always good to have that extra light so that people can see when you're coming. And if we turn, the front headlight on this is very, very bright. So definitely usable in the evening if you're going out, popping to the shops, or if you're in London and you're going to go onto the tube. This is definitely a scooter that you can use. And last but not least, we have a very loud horn. And when we indicate, we have an audible buzzer, and we have obviously the lights to show that we're indicating. So this is definitely a scooter for someone in the city, someone who lives in a flat, someone that needs to be able to carry it up the stairs. Portability wise, absolutely fantastic. 16 amp hour battery will mean that, you know, charges are few and far between. How this pans out in the long run, obviously here at Scooter Guide we will keep you updated on longevity and scooter life and reliability. But from first impressions, the Kugoo Kirin M4 Pro is a fantastic scooter, well worth the buy. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and we're always happy if you have any questions.